show and persuade that the church is more than a bunch of human beings trying to do good, that there is a heavy divine influence guiding the history of the church, at the same time respecting people's choices and freedom. And as you see the overview of the church, it can't be explained unless there is a miraculous divine guidance. I mean, the church has been in so many crises. I'll just give you one real quick. I mean, the heart of our faith is that we believe that Jesus is God. In the 4th century, there was an Arian heresy that spread like wildfire. Virtually a major part of the church bought into the Arian heresy, which meant that they stopped believing in Christ, the divinity of Christ. And once that goes, the redemption is gone, the sacraments are gone, the priesthood is gone, because all of a sudden now Jesus is a glorified George Washington. He's no longer divine. And the church should have folded. And it was a tremendous mess, tremendous confusion, and it emerged out of it. There was a crisis in the papacy where the popes led corrupt lives. And again, there was a renewal coming from that. There was the Protestant Reformation, where there was the biggest defection the church ever saw in its life. And it looked very bleak, and all of a sudden emerges from that. So the church, I mean, I always like to look at it more theological, that the church kind of emulates Christ. He died on the cross, he rose from the dead, the church suffers, emerges, suffers, emerges, and at the same time promotes everything that is good of the human person. Hospitals, universities, the value of science, the value of hard work, the dignity of women really progressed with Christianity, because the greatest follower of Christ happens to be the mother of Christ, this Jewish teenage woman who we call Mary, the mother of Jesus. So those are some of the things I wanted to convey. And then I saw that the church, Christianity, brought out what was best in the human spirit. Michelangelo, Raphael, painting, sculptor, literature. Even though it wasn't directly theological, it was inspired by the gospel message. Architecture, beauty, etc., philosophy, theology. How does it relate now? Well, it's an interesting question. And what relates to the young people now, and they start to pick it up, is the first 300 years of the church's history, believe it or not. Why? These are very unique times. There was priests and bishops who would nourish them with preaching and the sacraments and guidance. And then there was the lay people in the workplace, more women than men, who spread Christianity. And the moral tone was very similar. Without the high technology, the moral tone was very similar. You had violent games where people would die, lustful, sensual lifestyles, moral relativism. It's all in the writings of St. Paul. And the ordinary man and woman had to face that. And the gospel clashed with that culture. It wasn't, well, it's one more movement or one more mindset. It just clashed, banged against the wall of ancient Roman paganism. And then Jesus said, well, listen, they're going to know you by holiness, by how much you love and how much you show them that what you have is a gift. And that's why that time also produced tremendous amount of saints. Many of those saints were teenage girls, former pagans. And today, fine, we have documents and books, but in significant part, Catholic culture has been lost, especially among the younger generation. But it's young people to young people who bring Christianity to others. I see it in my own work. More than turn a Christian or a student into a moralizer, you know, I am here on earth to be honest or to be just or to never lie or to be clean cut. I want them to see the moral law as a springboard to being a Christian, to loving others with the heart of Christ. That the whole purpose of morality is to set the stage to love other people unconditionally the way Christ did. To set the stage to have a spiritual life in union with God through Jesus Christ. That's the purpose of morality. What does it mean for a young person? Okay, and I think that's one of the beauties of Christianity. That a young person, no matter what situation he or she are in, can find healing in Christ. That obviously it's not, the sacraments that the church offers are not superstitious good luck charms, but if there's the proper dispositions to be healed, to begin again, no matter what you've done, you are liberated from that shackle of sin. And no matter what kind of situation you're in, if you follow this loving God who has become a man, you will be fulfilled in this life. You will be happy in this life, regardless of all the pain and suffering you go through. Because the redemption has overcome sin, overcome suffering, even though we're called to suffer, and overcome death, because for us, death is just a gateway to a greater life.